Good morning and welcome. Welcome to another one of my flows. We are going to be doing something a little bit creative, a little bit funky, and I've decided to do it inside today just so that you can actually hear me. Because my last video, I don't think anybody could hear much of what I was saying, so I thought we'd try again inside this time. This is where I usually flow anyways. It's my space, so in Guernsey it can get quite cold, so this is my usual spot. And I do prefer the bigger bath because it does mean that you can get a bit more creative and try to use as much of the space as possible. And really my aim is to get outside of the mat, even though there's not much space outside, but yeah, one day. Anyways, welcome. Let's get started. So we're going to start in a seated, comfortable position, whatever that is for you. And we're just going to take a little bit of movement. This can be however you would like to move. So I'm going to do a bit of barrel rolls, and you can do a bit of cat and cow, whatever works. Just trying to warm the body up to get into it. Really tucking that chin in, lifting that chin up when you come back up. And if you'd like, you can match it with your breath as well. I'm actually clicking everywhere. I think it's age, honestly. And let's go the other way. So it is quite a spicy flow today, so this just starts off relatively chill. I prefer strength-based flows. If you follow, or if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I do a little bit of gym work as well. But that's what's injured my shoulder. In case you didn't know, in the last video I did say that I dislocated my shoulder and I've got a torn muscle. So I can't quite do the full expression of poses, but you do you, okay? Okay, so we're going into a tabletop position, knees under hips, but this time I want it to be a bit more engaged, so lifting those knees up, pushing those toes into the floor, and going into a bear position. We're just going here and we're going to try and do our cat and cows from this position. Lifting that chin, pushing the chest down, and then engage, breathe in, lift the chin, lift the chest, no. Get the chin to the chest and back forward. Again, curl everything in. You can use your fingertips and cow. One more. Cat. Really think of an angry cat. And cow. Okay, this time we're going to shuffle it back into downward facing dog. And we're just going to pedal it out. Moving those hips side to side. Honestly, it's whatever feels good for you. I'm just trying not to slip off my mat. It's a bit warm today. I'm going to take little steps, tiptoeing it all the way to the hands. Halfway lift, forward fold, and lift it up. Side out. Okay. It is a beautiful morning here. Okay, we're going to do a few sun salutation A's. I don't know if you can see my face, but hopefully. Take a deep breath in, reach those arms up, fold forward, halfway lift, take a breath, hands down. Step the feet back if you want, you can jump back. Bringing it down, slowly, chaturanga, upward facing dog, into curling over those toes, rippling it back, into downward facing dog. We're going to do one more of those, and then we're going to go into the flow. So you can either walk your legs forward or jump forward and get to the top of the mat. Lift up to halfway lift, fold forward, Lift up again and lift those hands up to the ceiling. I love doing my yoga in joggers, but they can get a bit annoying. Hands up, fold forward. This time when you fold forward, really try and push. Use your hands to get your head closer to the floor. I know that sounds awkward, but just think down. Halfway lift, engaging that core. Hands down, step back, jump back, lower down, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and roll over the toes, downward facing dog. And hang out here, just for a second, catching our breath. Okay, so we are lifting that right leg up, open the hip. If you want, just do a couple of circles in one direction and then in the other direction. Okay, trying to open that hip. Send that leg back, open it up again, and we're taking the knee to the left elbow. Stepping it down into Fallen Star, coming down and sitting. Opening those legs up as much as you can. We're just going to, so you could either be in, I'd say, 90-degree sort of angle, or you can open up a bit more. And we're taking a deep breath in. As we breathe out, try and fold forward. Bringing those toes either to the back or towards your face. Now here for a second. Right hand down. Going back to that Forward Star. Lifting it up. Left hand goes down, and I want you to use that core, lift that leg up and twist it to the right elbow. Lifting it back, opening up the hip, getting into folding. Really lifting those hips up. Right hand down. Back into your downward facing dog. Look forward, and you can either jump or just step. Bending and jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold. Up. And close. We're going to do that on the other side. Take a second. Really set the intention for what you're about to do. Mainly I'm doing this so that I can actually remember what I just did. Okay, hands up. Fold forward. Into halfway lift. Hands down. Now either jump back or step back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Roll over those toes. Downward facing dog. I'm going to do this on the other side now. So, take a few breaths. Setting it up. Lift that left leg up. Really stretch, using that glutes. Open it up and do a couple of circles. So 1, 2. I mean, you don't have to count it. You can just do a couple. And then the other way. Really try to get that hip engaged. Push it back. Try to look at the back toes. By the back toes, I mean the lifted leg toes. Get it to the right leg. Touch that elbow. And let it out. Into Fallen Star. Wave that arm back. Come set down. I'm sorry, my back's to you. Lift those arms up, take a deep breath in, And as you breathe out, fold forward. If you can, put the forearms on the floor and keep getting those toes pointing towards you and behind. So flex the feet and point them back. Take a breath here. Really stretching it open. Left hand down. Right hand up. Into your forward star. So I'm going to get that right hand down and we're going to lift that leg into the left elbow, lifting it back and opening it up. I'm going to go into wild thing. So this is my dodgy arm, the right arm, right shoulder. So I'll try my best. Lift those hips up. Stepping that leg back, coming down, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. So you can take a child's pose here, or you could just hang out in downward facing dog for a little bit. And then we'll get going again. This time we're getting into the real flow. So if you thought that was intense, we'll see how you feel. Taking a step to the top of the mat. Going into halfway lift, forward fold, halfway lift, and come up. Take a couple of breaths. Yeah. It is quite spicy. I'm already sweating. So let's see how we go for the rest of it, shall we? Hands up. Take a deep breath. Come down. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Okay, we're going to come into, so you could either find a balance here and do a crow pose or a headstand or handstand, but I'm going to do a crow pose. What I would like us to do is actually play with the posture, so play with the pose. So we're going to go into a crow pose and then we're going to do some tapping. So yeah, find your crow pose, see if you can hold it. So really try and get those knees high up on the triceps, lifting it up, 1 foot at a time and holding it. And if you can, tap the right foot down, the left foot down, the head, back into the crow pose. If you can get back. Okay, yeah, can get back. And down. Go back into your crow pose if you can. And we're going to try and shoot it back into jutta. I can only do one at a time because that shoulder does not want to do any work. Lift it back. Okay. We're going to lift that right leg up. Open up the hip. Taking that arm, that knee to the right elbow, and if you can, catch the balance. Lifting it back up. This time, bringing the knee into the chest, not stepping it all the way forward, but 3/4 of the way. Coming up into triangle pose. Sorry, triangle pose. And then getting that left hand down, right hand up to the ceiling. Revolve triangle. Try and get those legs as straight as you can, or as straight as your body will allow. Take a breath here. Okay, what we're going to try and do is we're going to windmill it all the way back to Skandasana at the back of the mat. Hanging out here for a little bit, really stretching that leg that's long, and you're also working your Achilles, so that helps. I'm hoping you can actually see me back here. I might move a bit more this way so you can maybe see me. So we're going to put the right hand down and we're going to spin to our thing. Okay? So right hand goes down. You're really grounding into this left leg. Sorry, the right leg that's out. Lifting it up into revolved side angle. Stepping that foot back into wild thing. Lifting it up, stepping it back into Skandasana. Look what we just did. Opening it up as wide as you can. And this time I want you to go forward, going back into that revolved triangle. I'm going to put both hands down and come into standing split. So if you'd like, you can bend that top leg, really try and work on opening up that hip a bit more, or you can just get the leg up straight. Now it doesn't mean that you have to be in a standing split, it just means you're trying to get your leg up as high as you can, using the glute muscle at the back here. The glute muscles, of course, at the back. I mean the top glute. Getting that head to the floor, and if you can, get the hand. Try and get both hands around the leg. Really working on our balance here. Staring, but find your drishti. That's it. Hands down. Step that left foot back. Lift the right leg back into the chest and back to three-legged dog. Foot down. Roll it forward and down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We're going to hop to the top of the mat into Malasana. So bend the knees, step forward, just come down. And we'll hang out here for a little bit. If you were in downward facing dog and went straight to child's pose, I don't blame you. That is absolutely fine. Just hanging here for just a second, prepping for, I'm actually sweating, for the next crow pose. So wherever you are, setting the intention for the next side. I'm just hoping I can actually remember the next side. And understanding that we are just doing what we can, we're enjoying pushing our bodies, seeing what we can do, and just getting a bit playful with it. So this time, what we're going to do is, rather than hold the crow pose for very long, if you don't want to stay in the crow pose, that is, because you can't stay there and test out tapping your head down and your feet down, we're going to go into headstand from the crow pose and then try to get back into the crow pose from the headstand. I hope that makes sense. So yeah. Okay, I'm just going to try and make a bit more space. Stepping back. Are we ready? Next side. I'm just going to make sure my hands aren't sweaty. Calming breath down. Getting centered. Okay, so hands down. Knees up high on that triceps. Really using that core. And lifting the legs up. Okay, we're going to drop the head down. Kick up into headstand. Using the core and try to stay super engaged. Coming back down into crow pose. Lift it up. Lift. And push back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. If you did that a lot smoother than I did, so you can take child pose here before we start off again. Then well done. It's that kicking off. My right shoulder just wants to absolutely collapse. But yeah, if you're still in it, stay there and hang out there as long as you can, to be honest, because if you can't do it, you might as well. So when you're ready, and if you're with me, we're going to be in a downward facing dog. This time lifting the left leg up, opening up that hip, trying to get that left knee to the left elbow, trying to find the balance. Put that leg back, curling it into the chest, stepping it 3/4 of the way, and we're going into triangle pose. Really trying to rotate that chest to the right. Let's remind myself which way I'm looking. Spin that right hand down, left hand up. You might have to twist the legs a little bit more to help you actually get your chest facing the right direction. I don't know how people make it seem like they can do this easily. Maybe I need to work on my cardio a bit more. Spinning it around and down into Skandasana. I wonder if I've got space here. Might step back a bit. Really opening up that hip, pushing that right elbow into that right knee. Taking prayer in the middle of the chest here. Catch the breath. Left hand's going to go down. So we're going into that wow thing. Left hand down, right hand up. Lift that leg up and step it back. Really pushing those hips up. Having the hand out long behind you. And if you can, try and almost hover the foot off the floor. The aim is that you've got so much energy going through the left leg and the left arm that it should be able to lift quite easily. Pulling it back into the chest, stepping it back, going back into your Skandasana. Flowing to the top of the mat into your revolved triangle. This time it's a bit wider. Left hand goes down. Going to take a slight bend, lift up into split, if you'd like, and bend the leg to open the hip a bit more, and then straighten the leg. Trying to get both hands onto the foot and get the balance. We're just trying to play with our balance here. All the movement is it's about playing. It's about getting creative, testing ourselves. So find that balance, lift that leg higher, find your trusty. That's more something to myself, because my left leg is the one that I can't quite ever get. There we go. Hands down, step it back, curl that leg in, back, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, in the mouth, so in the nose, out the mouth. Coming down onto your knees, into child's pose, stretching those arms out long, and hold that head down. We're going to sit up and we're going to find a comfortable, well, not comfortable seated position, but we're going to find boat pose. So however it is that you get there, you could just move the legs to the side, you could jump into it. I'm just going to come sit down. Okay, lift those legs up, hands up. Really lifting that chest. I'm going to tap the left foot down, lift it back up, right foot down, left, left, if you can, try and come and find hollow bow out. So coming down super, super, super slow. Holding there for a second. And release. And we're going to try and find plough nose if you've got it. So that's one of the moves I struggle with the most, but we're going to do it anyways. Hands, straight legs behind you. So first we'll go into shoulder stand, then put our legs back, so let's just do it. So we're leg down, hands out to the side. And lift those legs up into the chest. Pick it up. Take those hands to your back. Lift your hips as straight as you can. So the aim here, I don't know if you can actually hear me, but is to have a straight line of energy from the toes to the neck. It's a great way to talk. Pushing those hips forward. Try to have a curve. Set those toes behind your head. If you can, so if you can, interlace your hands at the back, go for it. Fortunately, my shoulders isn't like that. What you can also do is keep your hands to the back of your back. To your back, basically. And you can either curl your toes under or have them flat on the floor. If you can, curl the legs, grab the top of the toes, and just bend everything. So it's like you're trying to get your knees to the ears. We're going to roll back forward into Navasana, not Vanasana there, into bow pose, sorry. Lifting those legs. You can hold on to the legs, you can hold on to the toes, whatever works for you. Pulling those shoulders back, chest up. And this time, again, slowly lower down. Super, super slow. Holding it here. So my camera cut off, and I'm not sure exactly where it did cut off, so let's think about where it has. No, I think it's around about this point, and hopefully you've not missed anything too exciting. I doubt it. But we're going to go from, I think it's cut off from about here. So we're going to do a slow lower down. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3. Keeping it there. Yes, I'm doing this again. 2. Still holding strong. I'm going to take a second longer. And 1. Lower it down. Taking a couple of seconds here. We're going to do some spinal twists. Pulling the right leg into the chest. Left hand goes onto right leg or right knee. Twisting it over to the left. And looking at that right hand. Just kind of hanging out here for a little bit. Bringing out as much as you can in the spine. Trying to get that shoulder blade to the floor. Curling that right leg back in. Putting it out long for the left leg in. Right hand onto the left knee and twisting it over. Looking at the left hand is what I meant, not that foot. Trying to get that shoulder onto the floor. Twisting. Trying to get that knee to touch the floor on the other side. Yeah, back in. And stretching it out long. Stretch it like you've got a big yawn. It actually might make you yawn because it's going to make me yawn. Curling over to the right. Sitting up. eyes, hands at the heart or on your knees, whatever works for you. Just taking a few minutes here, trying to get that crown up along to the ceiling. Just a few breaths here. Thinking about what you've just accomplished. Thinking about how awesome it is to move, and how lucky we are. Just being grateful of the space that you're in. Space in your body, space on the mat. I'm not the most spiritual person, but I do think that appreciating what we have and where we are and what we can do is very important. Thinking about the one thing that you want to take out into the world with you today. Be it like kindness, truth, good truth, like nice, honest, not hurtful truth.